So a few days ago, I made a video talking about the market crash, the stock and crypto market crashing, which, guys, whether or not it was crashing or just the thought of it crashing is stressful. And I added in that video that one of the things that I use as a form of comfort is watches, whether it's watching content on YouTube, watch content, or just my actual watch, where I'll just take it off my wrist, look at it, examine it, and just get a form of peace and comfort just by interacting with the timepiece. And something that stood out to me is receiving an email from someone that brought out the point he has the same experience when it comes to timepieces, whether it's online content or just his collection, that during times of stress, his timepieces and watches bring him peace. So in today's video, I wanted to touch on this topic because it's something to think about. Because a lot of people might look at us like we're crazy.
He ain't lying.
Let's be honest, guys. Some people might look at us, especially us guys, like, what the hell is wrong with you guys buying all these watches? They don't understand it. And I'm gonna try and explain it in the best way I possibly can. So guys, give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and let's get into it. So the best way I can explain this, guys, is that watches, timepieces are pieces of art. They're objects that help us escape, just like a painting in a museum. So for those of you out there, I think a general public or a larger group understand painting and art. We have here in Miami, we have Art Basel, people flying from all over the world to come here to Miami to spend thousands, sometimes millions on art pieces. They walk around Wynwood, they go to different events just to look at paintings and sculptures and just different forms of art. But guys, a watch is considered an art piece. It's a functional art piece. Yes, a lot of us, I guess the general public, look at a watch as it tells the time. And they probably say to themselves, I have an iPhone, I have a smartphone, it tells me the time. It's probably more accurate than a watch. So what's the big deal about watches? I don't get it. And that's how a lot of people have as a mindset when it comes to watches. But again, guys, a watch, a timepiece is a piece of functioning art. It's a functional art piece. And the deeper you get into it is the more you'll understand and see what I'm talking about. So when you look at a modern timepiece, let's talk about Rolex. You go into a Rolex AD, you buy a new Rolex Submariner. You look at it, it's very artificial, it's brand new, no scratches. It's just perfect. And it looks like the next piece. It looked like another Submariner. They all look the same. Nothing special. Now, that to me, I could understand why most people wouldn't see a timepiece as a piece of art. A brand new watch, okay, shiny. The next man could have the same thing. Nothing special. But the next level, guys, is vintage watches. If you never had a vintage timepiece in your hand, you wouldn't understand. And it doesn't even have to be something tremendously expensive and shiny and oh my God. It could just be the most simple vintage timepiece. You look at it and you'll appreciate it for what it is. Yes, it's considered artificial, it's man-made. Every watch is man-made. But with a vintage timepiece, it has a touch of nature into it. If you look at this watch, for example, this Omega Constellation, the dial specifically is made up of material that over time ages and becomes a unique piece of art because of how it aged. A lot of these new modern pieces, we don't even know if they will age. The materials that they use on the dials, the materials that they use on the hour markers, on the hands, who knows? They may look the same in 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years. But for this watch is a 60s timepiece. And it's aged pretty well. It's been really taken care of. Whoever owned it didn't, beat it up too much. And the part that we really look at as far as the art form of it is the dial for me. Yes, you could look at the case design, beautiful art. A lot of design and engineering went into the overall build of this watch. The case, being engineered and well enough and precisely so that a movement could fit inside of it. All of that could be considered art. But let's just look at the dial for today. Everything on the dial you could just focus in on and say that is art. This dial was originally silver, and now it has a cream off-white patina over it. Many timepieces, the materials that they were made out of, like the hour markers being tritium, changing to creamy patina, is just crazy, guys. No! You do not understand. For some of you, I know you see these timepieces online on YouTube, on a computer screen, on your phone. But if you get these pieces in front of you, it's an entirely different feeling. It's completely different. And a lot of people who don't understand would look at you like you're crazy and would look at me like I'm crazy. But it's something that you have to really take the time and open your mind to, looking at vintage timepieces and understanding the difference between a modern and a vintage watch. So going back to art pieces in a museum, some pieces are one of ones. They're unique. And the same thing goes for a vintage watch. It's very hard. I don't think it's even possible to have a watch, especially a vintage watch, a 50s, 60s, 70s timepiece that resembles another watch out there. It could just be the scratches on the case, the scratches on the crystal, especially because the vintage timepieces usually have acrylic crystal, which is pretty much a plastic that's easy to scratch. We love these fine scratches. They could be buffed out, but just having a scratch on a timepiece is unique. And then when it comes down to the dial, some dials just age, you know, uniformly to other dials, but there are pieces that really stand out with like unique tropical dials, and it's evenly distributed over the dial, which makes it even better. So some people might look at patina as the dial being destroyed, but if it's something that's evenly done and it just looks like nature's art form doing a design on your dial, that's just amazing. And sometimes timepieces like those with amazing patina on the dial goes for 5x, 10x what they would originally had gone for. So again, art. Art usually increases in value, especially as they age, and the same thing goes for vintage timepieces. I want to invite you guys to go take a look at some vintage timepieces. I don't know if you have a watch shop, a watch dealer nearby, but guys, go check them out in person and see how they feel and look in your hand. And you could compare them to a modern timepiece too, side by side, and you'll see the difference. It's a totally different feeling a vintage watch gives you. It takes you back in the time that this watch was made. Like looking at this right now, it's like it takes me back into the 60s, the 70s, which I guys believe was the best era, the best time period to live. You know, design was amazing back then. Fashion was the best. The culture is just the best time to live compared to now. I mean, but anyways, going off topic, vintage watches is definitely something to take a look at, and it's something that will definitely bring you to a certain place that a new modern watch wouldn't bring you. It'll bring you peace and it'll bring you calm and comfort if you just sit there and look at it and take the time to have an open mind when it comes to looking at the timepiece and not just looking at it as a watch, as just a regular item that you throw on your wrist. It is a piece of art, and you just have to understand that and analyze the piece for what it is. It took so much work to put this timepiece together. It took a team of people to design a case, to design a dial, to design a crown, to design the movement. The movement is a whole nother level to timepieces. Some watches have exhibition case backs, which you could actually see the craftsmanship and everything that goes into the movement. And that itself is art again. So not just the exterior, the interior of a timepiece is a piece of art. So guys, go check it out. Don't think I'm crazy. We're not crazy. This is just, a small group of people who just nerd out on watches. And I think if you guys open your minds to it, you'll fall into the same hole that we're in. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Remember to give the video a like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, turn the notification on so you can know whenever I post a video. And guys, stay tuned for some more videos.